worst allergy season. Chapter 32. Grace. The first thing Sam said to me the next day was, "It's time to take you on a proper date." Actually, the very first thing he said was, "Your hair is all funky in the morning." But the very first lucid thing he said, I refused to believe my hair looked funky in the morning, was the date statement. It was a work day for the teachers at school, so we had the entire day to ourselves, which felt indulgent. He said this while stirring some oatmeal and looking over his shoulder toward the front door, even though my parents had disappeared early for some sort of business outing of my dad's. Sam still seemed worried that they would reappear and hunt him down with pitchforks. I joined him at the counter and leaned against him, peering down into the pan. I wasn't thrilled by the prospect of oatmeal. I had tried it before, and it tasted very healthy. "So about this date, where are you taking me? Someplace exciting, like the middle of the woods?" He pressed his fingers against my lips right where they parted. He didn't smile. "On a normal date, food, and fun, fun, fun." I turned my face so his hand was against my hair instead. "Yeah, sounds like it," I said sarcastically, but he still wasn't smiling. "I didn't think you did normal." "Get me 2 bowls, would you?" Sam said. I set them on the counter, and Sam divided the oatmeal between them, releasing a sweet scent. "I just really want to do a proper date, so you'll have something to remember." He stopped and looked down into the bowls, arms braced against the corner, shoulders shrugged by his ears. Finally, he turned and said, "I want to do things right. Can we try to do normal?" With a nod, I accepted one of the bowls and tried a spoonful. It was all brown sugar and maple and some sort of spicy. I pointed an oatmeal-covered spoon at Sam. "I have no problem doing normal. This stuff is sticky." "In Greek," Sam said. He looked dolefully at his bowl. "You don't like it?" "It's okay, actually," Sam said. "Beck used to make it for me after I got over my egg fixation." "You had an egg fixation?" "I was a particular child," Sam said. He gestured to my bowl. "You don't have to eat it if you don't like it. When you're done, we'll go." "Go where?" "Surprise." That's all I needed to hear. The oatmeal was gone instantly, and I had my coat, hat, and backpack in my hand. For the first time that morning, Sam smiled, and I was ridiculously glad to hear it. "You look like a puppy, like I am jingling my keys and you're jumping by the door waiting for your walk." Woof. Sam patted my head on the way out, and together we ventured into the cold pastel morning. Once we were in the Bronco and on the road, I pressed again. "So you won't tell me where we're going?" "No, the only thing I'll tell you is to pretend that this is what I did with you the first day I met you instead of being shot." "I don't have that much imagination." "I do. I'll imagine it for you so strongly that you'll have to believe it." He smiled to demonstrate his imagining, a smile so sad that my breath caught in my throat. "I'll court you properly, and then it won't make my obsession with you so creepy." "Seems to me like mine is the creepy one." I looked out the window as we pulled out of the driveway. The sky was relinquishing one slow snowflake after another. "I have that, what's it called? That syndrome where you identify with the people who save you." Sam shook his head and turned the opposite way from school. "You're thinking of that Munchausen syndrome, where the person identifies with their kidnapper." I shook my head. "That's not the same, is it?" Munchausen. "When you invent sickness to get attention." "Is it? It's like saying Munchausen. I just like saying Munchausen. I feel like I can actually speak German when I say it." I laughed. "Ulrich was born in Germany," Sam said. "He has all kinds of interesting children's stories about werewolves." He turned onto the main road through downtown and started looking for a parking space. He said people would get in willingly back in the old days. I looked out the window at Mercy Falls. The shops, all the shades of brown and gray, seemed even more brown and gray under the leaden sky and for October. It felt ominously close to winter. There was no green leaves on the trees that grew by the side of the street, and some were missing their leaves entirely, adding to the bleak appearance of the town. It was concrete. As far as the eye could see, why would they want to do that? In the folktales, they turned into wolves and steal sheep and all the animals when the food was scarce, and some of them changed just for the fun of it. I studied his face, trying to read his voice. "Is there fun in it?" He looked away, ashamed of his answer. I thought until I realized he was just looking over his shoulder to parallel park in front of shops. Some of us seem to like it, maybe better than being human. Shelby loves it, but like I said, I think our human life is pretty awful. I don't know, the wolf half of my life is such a part of me now, it's hard to imagine living without it, in a good way or a bad reached across the bench seat and touched my hair, running a hand down until he caught the ends just between his fingers. He studied the hairs like they maybe contained the secrets of grace in their dull blonde strands. His cheeks flushed slightly. He still blushed when he complimented me. No, he admitted right in this moment. I can't even remember what it feels like to be unhappy. Somehow that made tears break in the corner of my eyes. I blinked, glad he was still looking at my hair. There was a long pause. He said, "You don't remember being attacked?" "What? You don't remember being attacked at all, do you?" I frowned and pulled my bag back onto my lap, startled by the seemingly random change of the topic. "I don't know. Maybe it seems like there are a lot of wolves, way more than I think there actually could have been. And I remember you. I remember you standing back and then just touching my hand. Sam touched my hand and my cheek. He touched my cheek when the others were rough with me. I guess they wanted to eat me, right?" His voice was soft. "You don't remember what happened after that? How you survived?" I tried to remember. It was all flesh, snow, and red and breath on my face. Then Mom screaming, but there must have been something in between all that. I must have gone from the woods to the house, and I tried to imagine stumbling through the snow. Did I walk? He looked at me, waiting for me to find the answer to my own question. I know I didn't. I can't remember. Why can't I remember? I was frustrated now with my own brain's inability to comply. It seemed like such a simple request, but I only remembered the scent of Sam everywhere, and then the unfamiliar sound of my mom's panic as she scrambled for the phone. "Don't worry about it," Sam said. "It doesn't matter," but I thought it probably did. I closed my eyes, recalling the scent of the woods that day, and then jolting feeling moving back toward the house, arms tied around me. I opened my eyes again. "You carried me." Sam looked at me abruptly. "It was coming back in a way you remember from your dreams, but you were human," I said. "I remember seeing you as a wolf, but you must have been human to carry me. How did you do that?" He shrugged helplessly. "I don't know how I shifted. It's the same as when I was shot and I was human when you found me. I felt something fluttering in my chest, like hope. You can make yourself change. It's not like that. It's only 2 times, and I haven't been able to do it again, even no matter how badly I wanted to. And believe me, I've wanted to pretty badly." Sam turned off the Bronco with the air of ending in the conversation, and I reached into my backpack and pulled out a hat. As he locked the car, I stood on the sidewalk and waited. Sam came around the back of the car and stopped dead when he saw me. "Oh my God, what is that?" I used my thumb and middle finger to flick the multicolored pom-pom on the top of my head. In my language, we call it a hat. It keeps me warm. "Oh my God," Sam said again and closed the distance between us. He cut my face in his hands and studied me. "It's horribly cute." He kissed me, looked at the hat, and then kissed me again. I vowed never to lose the pom-pom hat. Sam was still holding my face. I was sure everyone in town was looking now, but I didn't want to pull away, and I let him kiss me one more time. This time soft as the snow, barely a touch, and then he released me and took my hand instead. It took me a moment to find my voice, and when I did, I couldn't stop grinning. "Okay, where are we going?" It was cold enough that I knew it had to be close. We couldn't stay out much longer. Sam's fingers were laced tightly with mine. "To a gray shop first. That's what a proper gentleman will do." I giggled, completely unlike me, and Sam laughed because he knew it. I was drunk with Sam. I let him walk me down the stark concrete block to the crooked shelf, a little independent bookstore. I hadn't been there for a year. It seemed stupid that I hadn't, given how many books I read, but I was just a poor high schooler with a very limited allowance. "I got my books from the library. This is a grape shop." "Grace shop, right?" Sam pushed open the door without waiting for an answer. A wonderful wave of new books now came rushing out, reminding me immediately of Christmas. My parents always got me books for Christmas with a metallic ding. The shop door swung shut behind us, and Sam released my hand. "Where to?" "I'll buy you a book. I know you want one." I smiled at the stacks they only in hundreds and thousands of pages that had never been turned, waiting for me. The shelves were a warm blonde wood, piled with spines of every color. Staff picks were arranged on the table, glossy covers reflecting light back at me behind the little cubby where the cashier sat, ignoring us. Stairs covered with a rich burgundy carpet led up to worlds unknown. "I could just live here," I said. Sam watched my face with obvious pleasure. "I remember watching you read books on the tire swing, even in the most stupid weather. Why didn't you just read inside when it was cold?" My eyes followed the rows and rows of books. Books are more real when you read them outside. I bit my lip, eyes flittering from shelf to shelf. "I don't know where to go first." "I'll show you something," Sam said. The way he said it made me believe that it was not only something, but a very amazing something that he had waited all day to show me. He took my hand again and led me through the store, past the uninterested cashier and up the silent stairs, as well as the sounds of our One summer I worked here. Sit, wait. Sam guided me to a battered burgundy love seat that took up a large part of the floor space. I took off my hat and sat, charmed by his orders, and checked out his butt while he searched on the shelves for whatever he was looking for. Unaware of my stares, he crouched, running his fingers along spines like they were old friends. I watched the slope of his shoulders, the tilt of his head, the way one hand braced, fingers spread crab-like on the floor as he knelt by the shelves. Finally, he found what he was looking for, and he came over to the love seat. Close your eyes, he said, without waiting for me. He pressed his hands over my eyelids, shutting them for me. I felt the love seat shift as he slid in beside me, hearing the inexplicably loud sound of the cover opening, the pages inside scraping against each other as he turned them. Then I felt his breath on my ear as he said, voice barely audible, I am alone in the world, and yet not alone enough to make each hour holy. I am lonely in this world, and yet not lovely enough for me to just be a thing to you. Dark and shrewd, I want my will, and I want to go with my will as it moves towards action. He paused long, the only sound his breath a little ragged before he went on. And I want, in those silent, somehow faltering times, to be with someone. I want to reflect everything about you, and I never want to be too blind or too ancient to keep your proud, wavering image with me. I want to unfold. I don't want to be folded anywhere, because there, where I'm folded, I am alive. I turned my face towards his voice, eyes still fast shut, and he put his mouth on mine. I felt his lips pull from mine slightly. Just for a moment, I heard the rustle of a book laid gently on the floor. And then he wrapped his arms around me. His lips tasted cool and sharp, peppermint winter, but his hands soft on the back of my neck from his long days, and summer, and forever. I felt lightheaded, like I wasn't getting enough air, as if the breath was stolen as soon as I took it. Sam lay back on the couch just a little and pulled me into the circle his body made and kissed me so carefully, like my lips were a flower. And if he touched them too roughly, they might bruise. I don't know how long we were curled up against each other on the couch, silently kissing before Sam noticed that I was crying. I felt him hesitate, salt water on his tongue before he realized what the days meant. Grace, are you crying? I didn't say anything because that would only make the reason for my tears more real. Sam rubbed them away with his thumb, then pulled his sleeve over his fist to wipe the tracks away with the fabric. Grace, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Sam's yellow eyes were flickering over his face, looking for clues as I shook my head. Downstairs, I heard the cashier ringing up another customer. It seemed very far away. No, I said firmly. I rubbed another tear out of my eye before it could fall. No, you did everything right. It's just that I couldn't say it. Sam didn't flinch. This is my last year. I bit my lip hard and rubbed away another tear. I'm not ready. I'll never be ready. He didn't say anything. Maybe there wasn't anything to say. Instead, he wrapped his arms around me again. And this time he guided my cheek onto his chest and ran his hand over the back of my head, clumsy but comforting. I closed my eyes and listened to the thud of his heart until mine matched pace with his. Finally, he rested his cheek on the top of my head and whispered, we don't have time to be sad. The sun had become brilliant by the time he walked out of the bookstore. And with a shock, I realized how much time had passed. On cue, my stomach pinched with hunger. Lunch, I said immediately. I'm going to wither away to absolutely nothing. Then you'll be racked with guilt. I don't doubt it. Sam took the little bag of notebooks and turned to put them in the Bronco. But he froze partway toward the car, his eyes fixed somewhere behind me. Crap, incoming. He turned his back to me and unlocked the car, shoving the books onto the passenger seat, trying to look inconspicuous. I turned around and found Olivia looking disheveled and tired. Then John appeared behind her and gave me a big grin. I hadn't seen him since before I met Sam, and in comparison, I couldn't fathom how I'd ever imagined he was good looking. He looked dusty and ordinary in comparison to beside Sam's black flop hair and golden eyes. She's mean. Hey, gorgeous, John said. That turned Sam around in a hurry. He didn't move toward me, but he didn't have to. His yellow eyes stopped John in his tracks, or maybe it was just Sam's stance behind me, shoulders stiff in the space of a second. I had a flashing thought that Sam might be dangerous, that maybe he normally quieted the wolf inside him far more than he let on. John had a weird, unreadable expression that made me wonder if all the moments of pretend flirting had been more real than I thought. Hi, Olivia said. She glanced at Sam, whose gaze had been fixed on the camera. Slunk over her shoulder, he looked down and rubbed his eyes as if he'd gotten something in one of them. Sam's discomfort was catching, and my vile smile felt insincere. Hi, funny puppy. Do you guys hear? We're just running some errands for Mom. John's eyes flicked towards Sam, and he smiled a little too pleasantly. My cheeks warmed at the silent testosterone battle. At the silent testosterone battle waging. It was kind of flattering, if a little weird, and Olivia wanted to hit up the bookstore while we were out. It's freaking cold out here, I'm gonna go in. They let illiterate people in there, I teased. Like old times. John grinned then, all tension gone, and grinned at Sam too, like, yeah, good luck with that. Before heading into the store, Sam sort of smiled back, eyes squinting shut, still acting like he had something in them. Olivia remained on the sidewalk just outside the door, arms hugged around herself. I never thought I'd see you out of the house this early on. A non-school day, she told me, talking to me but looking at Sam. I thought you hibernated on days off. No, not today, I said. After much time of not talking to her, it felt like I didn't know how to do it anymore. Up early to see what it feels like. Amazing, Olivia said. She was still looking at Sam, an unasked questioning in the air. I didn't want to introduce them since Sam seemed so uncomfortable around Olivia and her camera, but I was hyper aware of the way she was looking at us, the space between the two of us, how it shifted as either of us moved, connected by invisible strings, and the casual contact. Her eyes followed his hand to my arm as he touched my sleeve lightly, and then moved to his other hand, still resting on the handle of the car, comfortable, like he'd opened it many times before, like he belonged with the Bronco and with me. Finally, Olivia asked, "Who's this?" I glanced at Sam for approval. His eyelids were still lowered, shadowing his eyes. "Sam," he said softly. There was something wrong with the tenor of his voice. He wasn't looking at the camera, but it seemed like he could feel his attention on him. My voice inadvertently echoed his anxiety when I said, "This is Olivia. Olive, Sam, and I are going out." "I mean dating." I expected her to comment, but instead she said, "I recognize you." Besides me, Sam stiffened until she added, "From the bookstore, right?" Sam flicked his eyes open to her and she nodded almost imperceptibly. "Yes, from the bookstore." Olivia's arms still crossed, fingered the edge of her sweater, but didn't take her eyes from Sam's. She seemed to be struggling to find words. Do you wear contacts?" "Sorry to be so blunt. You must get asked that a lot." "I do," Sam asked. "Get asked a lot and do wear them." Something like disappointment flashed across Olivia's face. "Well, they're really cool. It was nice to meet you." Turning to me, she said, "I'm sorry for it was a really stupid thing to fight over." Whatever I had been planning to say disappeared when she said, "I'm sorry." "I'm sorry too," I replied, a little feebly, because I wasn't really sure what I was apologizing for. Olivia looked at Sam and then back at me. "Yeah, could you call me later on?" I blinked with surprise. "Yeah, of course. When?" Can I call you? "I don't know. When will be a good time?" "Is that okay? Can I just call yourself?" "Anytime." "You sure you don't want to go somewhere and talk now?" No, not now. I can't because of John." She shook her head and looked at Sam again. "He wants to hang out. Later will be good though, definitely. Things crazy. I mean it. I'm sorry about our stupid argument." I pressed my lips together. Why was she thanking me? John stuck his head out the bookstore. "Olive, are you coming or what?" Olivia waved at us and disappeared in the bookstore with a little ding from the bookstore's bell. Sam cupped his hands around the back of his head and heaved a huge shaky sigh. He paced a small circle on the sidewalk without lowering his hands. I stepped past him and pulled open the passenger side door. "Are you going to tell me what's going on, or are you just shut camera shy, or is it something more?" Sam came around the other side of the Bronco and got in, slamming the door shut as if shutting Olivia and all the weird conversation out. "I'm sorry, I saw one of those wolves the other day, and this Jack thing has me on edge." And Olivia, she took pictures of all of us as wolves in my eyes. I was afraid that Olivia knew more about me than she was saying, and I freaked out. "I know I acted totally whacked, didn't I?" "Yeah, you did. You're lucky that she was acting more whacked than you. I hope she calls later." A knees crept through me. Sam touched my arm. "Did you want to go someplace to eat or just at home?" I ground and put my forehead into my hand. "Let's just go home, man. I feel so weird not finding out what she was talking about." Sam didn't say anything, but it was alright. I was going over and over what Olivia said, trying to figure out why the conversation seemed so awkward. Oh, sorry. Trying to figure out what wasn't being said. I should have said more to her after she told me that she was sorry. But what else was there to say? We traveled along in silence, back toward the house, until I realized how intensely selfish I was being. "I'm sorry, I'm ruining our date." I reached over and took Sam's free hand. He squeezed his fingers around mine. First I bawled, which I never do for the record, and now I'm totally distracted by Olivia. "Shut up," Sam said pleasantly. "We've got plenty of day left, and it's nice to see you emote for once instead of being so damn stoic." I smiled at the thought. Stoic, I like it. Figured you would. But it's nice not to be so wishy-washy for once. I burst out laughing. "Those aren't the words I'd use to describe you. You don't think of me as a delicate flower in comparison to you, and I laughed again. He pressed. "Okay, what words would you use then?" I leaned back in the seat, thinking as Sam looked at me doubtfully. He was right to look doubtful. My head didn't work with words very well, at least not in this abstract, descriptive sort of way. Sensitive, I tried. Sam translated. Squishy. Creative. Dangerously emo. Thoughtful. Feng shui. I laughed so hard. I snorted. How do you get feng shui out of thoughtful? You know, because in feng shui you arrange furniture and plants and stuff in thoughtful ways. Sam shrugged to make you calm. Zen-like or something. I'm not one. 100% sure how it all works besides the thoughtful part. I playfully punched his arm and looked out the window as we got closer to home. We were driving through a stand of oak trees on my way to my parents' house. Stole orange-brown leaves and dry and dead. Orange-brown leaves, dry and dead, clung to the branches and flattered in the wind, waiting for the gust of wind that would knock them to the ground. That was Sam. That's what Sam was, transient, a summer leaf into a frozen black branch for as long as possible. You're just beautiful and sad, I said finally, not looking at him when I did. Just like your eyes. You're like a song that I heard when I was a little kid, but forgot I knew until I heard it again. For a long moment, there was only a whirring sound of the tires on the road, and then Sam said softly, "Thank you." We went home and slept on my bed all afternoon. Our jeans covered leg tangled together and my face buried in his neck. The radio murmuring in the background around dinner time. We wandered out to the kitchen to find food as Sam carefully assembled sandwiches. I tried calling Olivia. John answered. Sorry, Grace, she's out. Do you want me to tell her anything or just call you? Just have her call me, I said, somehow feeling like I'd let Olivia down. I hung up the phone and ran a finger along the counter absently. I kept thinking about what she had said. Stupid thing to argue about. Did you notice, I asked Sam when we came in, that it smelled out front by the front steps? Sam handed me a sandwich. Yeah, like pee, like wolf pee. Sam's voice sounded unhappy. Yeah, who do you think it was? I don't think, Sam said. I know it was Shelby. I can smell her. She peed on the deck again too. I smelled it when I was out there yesterday. I remembered her eyes looking at mine through my bedroom window and made a face. Why is she doing this? Sam shook his head and sounded uncertain when he said, I just hope it's about me and not about you. I hope she's just following me. His eyes led toward the front hallway distantly. I heard a car coming down the road, and I think that's your mom. I'm going to vanish. I frowned after him as he retreated into my room with his sandwich, the door closing softly behind me. Behind him, leaving all the questions and doubts about Shelby out here with me. Out front, the car tires strolled into the driveway. I got my backpack and settled down so that by the time my mom came in, I was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a problem set. Mom walked in and tossed a pile of paper on the kitchen counter, dragging a cold rush of air in with her. I winced, hoping Sam was impervious behind my bedroom door. Her keys jingled as they slid onto the floor. She picked them up, swearing slightly, and threw them back onto the papers. Have you eaten yet? I'm feeling snacky. We did paintball on the outing. I mean, his work paid for him. I frowned over. Half of my brain was still thinking about Shelby lurking around the house, watching Sam or watching me or watching us together. What for? Crumpotting, I guess. Mom didn't answer. She opened the fridge and asked, do we have anything I can eat while I watch TV? God, what is this? It's a pork loin, Mom. It's for the slow cooker tomorrow. She shuddered and closed the fridge. It looks like a giant chilled slug. Do you want to watch a movie with me? I looked past her down the hall looking for Dad, but the hall was empty. Where's Dad? He went out for wings with the new guys from work. You act like I'd only ask you because he's not here. Mom baked around the kitchen, pouring herself granola on the box open on the counter before retreating towards the sofa. Once upon a time, I would have leaped at the rare opportunity of curling up with Mom on the couch, but now it sort of felt like a little too late. Too late. I had someone else waiting for me. I'm feeling a little off. I told Mom I think I'd rather just go to sleep early. I hadn't realized that I wanted her face to fall until it didn't. She just jumped onto the couch and grabbed the remote control. As I turned to go, she said, by the way, don't leave trash bags on the back deck, okay? Animals are getting into it. Yeah, I said. I had a feeling I knew which animal in particular. I left her watching a movie on the couch, swept up by my homework, and carried it all the way to my room. Opening my bedroom door, I found Sam curled up on my bed, reading a novel by the light of my bedside lamp, looking like he belonged there. I knew he must have heard me enter, but he didn't glance up from his book for a moment, finishing his chapter. I loved looking at the shape of his body made. I loved looking at the shape his body made while he read. From the curved slope of his neck, bent over the pages to the long forms of his sock feet. Finally, he stuck his finger in the book and closed it, smiling up at me. His eyebrows dipped together in their permanently mournful way. He reached out an arm as an invitation, and I dumped my been taking over, or having Earth all to themselves and repopulating at their leisure. When we were done, Sam rolled onto his back and he stared at the ceiling, and I drew slow circles on his flat stomach with my fingers. Which would you choose? He asked. In the book, the characters that search for the others only to get separated and end up alone. For some reason, Sam's question made my heart beat a little faster, and I gripped a handful of his t-shirt in my fist. Duh, I said. Sam's lips curled up. It wasn't until later that I realized that Olivia hadn't returned my call. When I called her house, her mother told me she was still out. A little voice inside me said, "Out where? Where is there to be out in Mercy Falls?" That night, when I fell asleep, I dreamed of Shelby's face in my window, and Jack's eyes and